The following is the audio version of the statement of the Coalition of Cameroon Federalist Groups and Activists, the Ccfga, concerning the Canadian process for peace in Cameroon. The written version was published on 30th January 2023. This recording is brought to you by the chair of the steering committee of the coalition, Dr. Simon Munzu. For over 6 years, the northwest and southwest regions of Cameroon have been ravaged by an armed conflict. In that time, many voices at home and abroad have ceaselessly called for a negotiated settlement to end the conflict and restore justice, peace, and normalcy in these two regions. It is therefore with joy, hope, and optimism that the Coalition of Cameroon Federalist Groups and Activists, the Ccfga, received the announcement by the Canadian Minister of Foreign Affairs on Friday, January 20th, 2023, that the government of Cameroon and separatist armed groups had agreed to embark upon a process for the comprehensive, peaceful, and sustainable resolution of the ongoing conflict through a substantive and inclusive dialogue. The readiness of the warring parties to dialogue is a salutary first step towards the definitive resolution of the armed conflict. Therefore, we urge the government of Cameroon and all separatist armed groups to commit wholeheartedly and sincerely to this peace process. The road to a final outcome may prove to be long, tortuous, and agonizing. Yet, reason will ultimately prevail, and justice, peace, and normalcy will return to the southwest and northwest regions. The Ccfga commends the Government of Canada for accepting the mandate to facilitate this process. We note with satisfaction the support that has been spontaneously expressed for this undertaking by numerous voices and stakeholders in Cameroon and abroad, including major players on the international scene. Even though the government of Cameroon believes that, I quote, "It is first and foremost up to the Cameroonian people, to the institutions and leaders that they have freely chosen to seek appropriate ways and means to address problems facing our country," unquote. We think that this position of the government is not incompatible with the involvement of external partners in efforts to resolve the conflict in the southwest and northwest regions. This position has never prevented the same government from habitually turning to external partners, inter alia, for financial assistance, to ask for support in its fight against armed insurgencies in certain regions of our country, to request the arrest and criminal prosecution of persons acting on foreign lands against the territorial integrity of Cameroon, or to demand support in the delivery of humanitarian assistance to victims of the current crisis inside Cameroon. Like the current search for justice and peace within the framework of the peace process that has just been launched, the resolution of all these other problems has always been and will remain, first and foremost, the responsibility of the Cameroonian people, institutions, and leaders. We also commend the facilitator of the announced peace process for highlighting the plight of civilian victims of the crisis in the Northwest and Southwest regions, notably the over 6,000 dead, more than 800,000 internally displaced, tens of thousands of refugees, and 600,000 children deprived of education. This is a telling reminder that the government of Cameroon and the separatist armed groups are not the only stakeholders of the crisis and of the search for justice, peace, and normalcy in the Northwest and Southwest regions. The population of these two regions in particular, and Cameroonians in general, are also stakeholders in the crisis and its resolution. At the appropriate time, they will have to be brought into the substantive and inclusive dialogue to end the conflict once and for all. It is also a reminder of the imperious necessity to establish a Truth, Justice and Reconciliation Commission that the Ccfga called for in its constitutive declaration on 31st of October 2021 as part of a comprehensive peace process. Thank you.